Why, hello and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, as always. And this is a LOTRO guide, my friend. And today, I'm going to give you a LOTRO guide video 101 for Dummies. Okay, like the book series. Alright, I'm going to start doing this for some videos because I've had a couple comments where people really are struggling on even terms of stuff. And I totally get that. I completely understand. Where like, oh, I've never played any MMO. I don't even know what these terms mean or how to find quests or any of that stuff. So this is a 101 for how to get back on track, okay? So I'm doing this guide video in between some of my LOTRO tales where I do voiceovers in the Lord of the Rings online. So don't forget to like and subscribe, or if this guide video helps you out. And I do a lot of guide videos too for this game. But a big thing you have to remember is like, what if you're doing quests in this game, okay? And quests are basically the things you'll pick up from, if you hear the term NPC, which means non-player character, it's a computer character, like this elf behind me, where my character is me playing it, right? That's the difference of a player versus a non-player for those terms, because a lot of people don't know these terms that are brand new to the game. So I'm going to try to make sure I really break things down. And then quests are basically things, stories that you pick up, just like you go somewhere and you talk to the guy and he's like, I will give you 5 gold if you go and kill these goblins for me, right? You accept the quest, it goes in your inventory over here, right? In your quest log, if you can go in your quest ring, the ring down there and click that, it'll open it up, and then it'll give you a chapter thing, right? This one's a perfect example. I got this quest, it says, defeat orc grunts and guards, and it'll tell you where to go and stuff like that. Now, what if you're really confused, though, and you're having troubles kind of knowing where to go next for levels, okay? And that's what this video is about for today, leveling. So again, in an MMO, you level up. Most classic MMOs, you have levels. My character, you can see up in their top left, he's level 71 right now. At the time I'm making this guide video, there's 150 levels in this game. But how do you keep on track and kind of know? Well, I have a whole video on how to know the colors and stuff. Mainly what I want to show you is how do you find yourself back on track for epic quests. Now, what is an epic quest, you might ask? Well, an epic quest is basically the main story. So when you go through Lord of the Rings Online, there is a main story. You kind of follow the Fellowship book, the Two Towers book, the Return of the King book for my lore fans out there. But if you're not a fan of the lore and you're just here and playing the game and you're enjoying the game, that's what it's following. But how you keep going through that, those will help guide you through the game to kind of know where you should be. Right? As you follow those quests, they'll say, go here, and then you go there. And then when you get there, that spot will have you do some quests for the epic quest, okay? And then usually they'll give a little side quest, which are the generic quests. You know, go pick flowers, go kill these orcs, blah, 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 generic quests. And then when you're done with all of those, you turn them in, and the epic quest usually leads you to the next place, right? Another town, another location. But what happens if you get lost or forget, or, that stuff? You can go into your thing and go, oh, well, here's one of my chapter quests. Well, this one's a little low level for me. It's level 49, so I'm way past that, right? And I was actually, personally, as someone who's played this game a long time, kind of struggling. Well, I can't find the next quest area for being 71. I need to find the quest starting area for Rohan, right? Which is where quest starts. So for this guide video, I want to just quickly walk you through how, now that you have that basis, to find yourself back on track for epic quests and knowing where to go. Okay, so this is the 101 for finding epic quests. So I'm going to bring up the browser for a second here. All right, let's just bring that up for a moment here. All you need to do is you need to type in LOTRO Wiki on Google, and you're going to come up with this. Now, you can go straight to LOTROWiki.com, or you can click if it pops up epic quests here, but I'll click straight on LOTRO Wiki so we can give you every step. And then go ahead and just type in epic quests. All right, it sees even popping up epic quest line, okay? But I'm just going to do that. Boom! Epic quests. Cool. Well, guess what we have here? Going down here, you have all of the epic quest and storybooks, okay? So now what you can do is you can click on the very first one, epic introductions, and they'll break into more detailed things of how to find them. Now, for me, I'm going to use the example of being a level 71 and needing to find the Rohan questline, okay? So, if I go here and I look at, like, Evils of the North, Book 4, oh, see this little number here in parentheses after the bullet points? 37, 38, 30. That's the level, character level, okay? So these are all for like level 38s and 40. So that's not what I'm looking for. And this is also not the Rohan book quest. You can see what it's called, you know, Chasing Shadow book 4. And if you kind of look where it is, it's actually before the Shadow book 3. So it's a different part of, again, you can click on these. It says Trouble in Rivendell, and it'll show you the location. But let's just go back to this page, okay? So I'm looking for around level 65 to 70, right? And I want to find Rohan. Well, there's Volume 2, Mines of Moria. That's not Rohan. Okay, I keep going. All right, that's Allies of the King, Volume 3. Okay, Oath of the Rangers, that's something. Oh, look at that, the Riders of Rohan, right? So now let's click on, for example, this one, Book 4. Oh, that's for level 75. That's a little high for me, so that must not be right where I want to start it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, okay, The Journey South, all right, Allies of the King, Volume 3. That's where I probably need to start. So I click on Prologue here, the very first one. You could do Book 1, but usually you have to start with the Prologue to introduce you, because quests in Lord of the Rings Online sometimes have a prerequisite quest, meaning you have to complete one quest before the other quest will show up, right? Tell me if you're. I'm doing this as simple wording as possible, because I know there's a lot of things that are going to be confusing for someone brand new to the game. That's the goal. I'm going to try to make some more guide videos based on Basics 101, for dummies, like the book series. Okay, I know I don't mean to sound. That's not derogatory. I need it too sometimes on games or different things. Okay, I understand that, but I just think it makes us get a little giggle. So I'm not actually thinking anyone's dumb, but for someone brand new, that's what it needs, right? Because you guys all know the book series, right? 101 for Dummies, okay? It's in, like, if you go to any bookstore, there's, like, hundreds of them on all sorts of topics. So let's click Prologue, and now we got this page. And now you might be like, oh, what's going on? How do I even use this? Well, go to the very first one, right? Prologue missions here. Click on that one, and you can see there's some more information here, right? This will show you where the quests are, the chains, and all that kind of stuff. All right, but I want to find volume book 1 Oaths. All right. So you're actually going to click on volume 3 book 1 Oaths of the Rangers. Okay. So there's some more information here above it, but I'm just going to click this one, and then look, the very first one here. All right. So level 65. Oh, okay. So it's a little lower level for me, but it should lead me into the next book area, which will be on level, right? I'm level 71, so I'll still get some credit for these. Usually there's like an 8-level gap where you won't get as much credit at all for a quest, but if you're within 8 levels of that quest, whatever it's for, it'll still give you some credit. But no matter what, they'll give you credit for continuing the story, right? So you can even go back and do level 5 quests if you're level 70. They're not going to give you much experience. Experience is how you level up in Lord of the Rings Online, okay? But still. So we click on this very first one, and now I can kind of see show quest chain, what's connected to, the walkthrough. They'll explain details and stuff, probably more than I would do right now. There's what the rewards are, quest dialogue, all that kind of stuff. Now it says objective 1, all right, is to talk to Ellen, all right, and meet with Master Elrond. Okay, so you're like, well, where the heck is this a person? What is this? Click on it. Oh, it's an elf. There's a picture, and it actually will show us the exact location right there. Now, this is the important part, okay? So, usually in game, the quest will just tell you where to go. But if you're really confused and you can't find it, let's pop back to the game for a second. There's a little thing up there. It's called the radar. I like to call it a mini-map. It's that little circle up there when you're moving around. It's like a little mini-map without clicking M to bring up the main map, right? There's a thing underneath it. It'll tell you where you are, the last homely house you can see underneath up there. And then right under that, there is a little tiny information where my mouse is here that it says coordinates, all right? 29.9 south by 3.5 west. Now, if you want to know how coordinates work, I'm going to tell you in the game, but I'm not going to go through that in real life. If you're confused on that, Google how coordinates work. Pretty much it's an X and Y axis, and it shows you where something is on the map. So when I walk around, those numbers change. See those numbers changing? You get that? Okay, so now we go back to our page here. You can see here, it actually will, if I hover it, it'll say it's 29.9 south by 3.5 west. And it actually will show you a little spinning thing on a mini map when you hover that on the LOTRO wiki, which is fantastic because you know what that means. Well, you hit M in Rivendell map. Well, there's the same map. Oh, look, I'm almost exactly where it said I needed to go. So you kind of know, right? And again, if I walk here, 29.9 by, look at that, my friends. That's exactly the coordinates right there up on the thing. See it? It's exactly the right coordinates. And guess who's here? Mr. Pathelin. All right, and then I can talk with him.
We are met in time of need.
And I can...
It is a joy to see you.
Accept this quest and start the quest. And from here, they'll tell me each quest, and he's going to tell me to talk to Master Elrond, just like it said. You don't have to go back every second to the LOTRO wiki to see every little detail, because that could get overwhelming and silly, right? But if you get lost or you get into part of the quest, let's go back one page. I'm going to go back one page, right? I'm going to go, so this is the main prologue start, but I'm going to go one more back. So let's say you get to chapter 1 after you finish the prologue, right? Or the instance. You're going to have to do an instance too, I believe, which this will explain if you go and click on it. An instance, for those people who may need to know, is a type of, aka also known as a dungeon, and usually they are something you have to load into, okay? This could get really confusing for someone brand new. I have a whole video on this as well, on the LOTRO guides, but if you click on this little arrow right here and you bring up the instance finder, or you can press Control-J, this is how you'll get into instances, right? And I have a whole video on how to do instances if you need that. I don't want to put too much packed into one video here for a guide because it'll get too crazy. I'm already trying to break down what I'm saying to make sure I'm not just throwing around terms that are like, what does that even mean for a brand new player? Okay, so that's the goal of this video. Again, you can go back to, let's say you're going to go to chapter 1, right? You now have chapter 1, you've talked to Elrond, you did the instance, so you go and do chapter 1. But let's say you get chapter 1, you're like, I don't know where to go. Well, again, you go over here, you go down, and you can find right here on the right side, there's some information. It says map reference. Look at that. It shows me I need to go to the troll shots, and there are the coordinates, okay? So, and then there's a whole bunch of information here with quest text. You got the storyline, which I will read in LOTRO Tale if you want to follow along ever on the channel. I do voiceovers of these characters and read all of these massive amounts of storylines and paragraphs and stuff, and I try to make them enjoyable for you all. So I'm having fun, you're having fun, that's the goal. And talk to Elro here, which is Elrond's son, at Thorinhad, which is a little settlement, by the way, right there. And again, go back to the game, click M, the map. I have a video on how to navigate and use the maps, but to right click will always zoom out, to left click on one of the little spots will zoom in if it has this symbol over it, okay? You can also use these little drop downs. Watch my video on maps. I have an in-depth thing on that if you need that later on. But you can see right there, that is exactly where it was glowing. So I know I have to just travel down to there, or I have to go to one of the stable masters and take a trip to Thorinhad if you've already been there before. If you haven't already been there, you will have to learn the stable or use a mithril coin to purchase the thing. But remember, if you ever go to a stable master or a dock master in Middle-earth, make sure you right-click on them, because every character has to learn each stable master, so it's not like an account-wide thing where every character knows it and one character learns it. For stable masters, they have to right-click on them one time to know that location. Okay? So that is how you kind of can catch yourself up and figure out, pretty much to sum it up, all right, to sum it up, use the LOTRO Wiki, go to Epic Quest Lines, use the level on the side, right, of the information. Let me go back to this one, of what you're trying to look for and where you were at. Again, I kind of knew where I was because I just kind of finished Mines of Moria and done a lot of this stuff and done the stuff in Lothlorien. So I knew I was kind of somewhere on this next part, right, which you can help you kind of figure it out. But then again, I clicked on a couple of these, looked at their level. I'm like, oh, it's a little low, but it's kind of where I'm at. And I've never done these yet on this character. And then I kind of click on each one, and then I found, okay, well, this one is. And then I went and checked the NPC, or the non-player character, whose name was, you guys all remember, right? For the prologue here, his name was Pathel, this guy, right? I found him. And then I went and checked, does he have a quest for me that says this? Well, guess what? He sure does. It's the exact one, messages from Lothlorien, right? And then now I can use this as a reference point to go back to. All right. Well, I hope that helps you guys out a lot. Let me know if you have any questions. Already need anything? I'm going to try to make a lot more. I need to make a couple more advanced guides, but I also need to start making some more starter guides for brand new players. I've, in the past, made some really good starter guides, and I think I'm usually pretty good about that, but there's an occasional time that I probably slip in a word or phrase that you may not know if you're not an MMO player, or it's also a massive multi-online game. Okay, that's what an MMO game is. It's basically any kind of game that there's hundreds or thousands of people inside it playing it on an open world or something. It's not always an open world, but generally for classic MMOs are like Lord of the Rings Online, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, you know, that kind of stuff. There's a lot. I'm not going to go into that, but again, I'll try to be a little better about doing terms when I'm making the very basic guides. Now, again, for my other viewers, I need to make more advanced guides, obviously. But I had a couple very nice comments where people were like, I loved your video, but I didn't know 3 or 4 of these, what these even meant, because I'm brand new and I've never played a game like this. So I will do my best to make some more updated ones. So leave your comments. Is there any specific subject you like? Let me know that you need help with in the game, and I will definitely try to write them down. I do listen to your guys' comments. I love them. You're very encouraging. They're always great questions and things, or for guides or more you need. Just let me know. I will do my best to keep up with that. Thanks to my Patreons, I would not be able to make guides or do any of this without them, and without you guys liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful day in Middle-earth. I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. Subscribe button's there. Next episode will be up there for guides, and over there is where I do voiceovers in Lord of the Rings Online. Baruch Hazard! Huzad, I bet you. Stay happy, my friends, and hopefully this helps you on your adventures in epic quests through the wonderful world of Middle-earth. See you in the next one.